recommend a reinstatement of GCQ in Metro Manila.
Yes, Charles, first of all, our status should be last Saturday. According to Music Vergere, they will use this as an initial implementation for A1 and A3 groups to monitor its distribution, handling, and administration. Storing Sputnik V is quite meticulous because it requires a negative 18 degrees Celsius temperature storage, unlike AstraZeneca and Sinovac, which only require 2 to 8 degrees. The additional 485,000 doses is expected to arrive by the end of May. So among the hospitals and facilities which Sputnik V will be administered for initial implementation are Makati Coliseum, Lakeshore Vaccination Hub, Ayala Mall, Manila Bay, Santa Ana Hospital and Ospital ng Maynila, Hospital ng Muntinlupa and Asian Hospital. Charles?
Right, Jen, let's talk about vaccination some more. How is the department monitoring adverse effects following immunization? Are they seeing anything that should be a cause for alarm?
You know, Charles, there is still a low number of reports about adverse.
Jen, let's move on to the national immunization
group is not yet included in the simultaneous immunization program, along with A1, A2, and A3 because of limited supply. Although 1,718 essential workers in private and public sectors were vaccinated last Saturday, but that is only for the commemoration cure for COVID. Although there are critical cases which underwent complications like bleeding, but again, there is no study
of ivermectin recently. Is the health department actually holding anyone liable for this?
Secretary Francisco Duque has ordered a parallel investigation regarding this. The DOH likewise submitted a letter to the Professional Regulatory Commission for, they would want to know the professions of these healthcare workers who joined in prescribing ivermectin. They also said that they will act based on the existing law, but they did not specifically mention the name or names of persons who will be held liable for this, Charles.
Thanks for those updates, Jen. Again, that was Jen Calimon reporting to pour in for the Hospicio de San Jose in Manila. This after the facility was placed under stricter lockdown due to COVID-19. The hospice currently has 23 confirmed COVID-19 cases. This includes 10 personnel, 3 special adults.
Or that can track COVID-19 hospital bed capacity, isolation and ward beds. The green color means there are still isolation and ward beds. The green color means there are still available COVID beds in the hospital, while the red color means it has reached its full capacity. Reyes says all data are sourced from the Health Department's COVID-19 data tracker site. They are also planning to develop another feature in the COVID-19 data tracker site. They are also planning to develop another feature in the web app
to have a directory of hospitals there. At least alam mo number of the hospital, so you can confirm kung meron bang available before you go. Kasi delikado rin sa atin yung pumupunta ka right there sa hospital tapos wala namang available. You're exposing yourself to the virus pa.
Charles, Mara Reyes is also urging the health department and other hospitals to feed their data in real time to maintain the accuracy of the app's information. She hopes that the app will also relieve the government's hospital command center hotline, which is also overwhelmed with calls from COVID-19 patients. Charles?
Thanks for that, Camille. That was Camille Samonte reporting live from Manila. Disneyland in California has finally reopened its doors more than a year after the pandemic broke. However, Bloomberg's Chris Palmieri explains it's not business as usual.
A specific day. Right now it's only limited to California residents. And even with those limitations, they've sold out a lot of days. You pretty much can't get a Saturday in May or June right now. There's a lot of days you can maybe just go to California Adventure. One of the tricks people figured, but then you get to go to Disney later on in the afternoon. So demand is there. People want to get out.
Also, over the last year, the company itself has gone through this major transformation with more of a reliance on streaming, less of a reliance on parks. Do you expect the parks to continue to shrink as a part of the pie going forward, or do we see the equilibrium change?
Well, I think the education, all the top brass down there today, just how important this business is, lost money. So to have that money to Disney Plus and their other streaming services, but it still costs a lot of money to feed those beasts. And the parks are really, Bob Iger said this numerous times, really kind of the heart and soul of it. There's this direct connection to the consumer, to watch these things come to life, these movies and TV shows. And so it's a very important business for Disney.
So talk to us about what's reopening. What are you watching?
Well, on all fronts, you're going to see capacity limits start to rise, so they'll get more people in the parks, and they're going to be busy. I think people, particularly in parks they can drive to, like Disneyland, are going to do quite well. They've learned, we're seeing this in other entertainment businesses, to cut costs, work with less people, and so profits could come back, even more dramatically once the consumer returns. People got a lot of money to spend still.
And those are the top stories of the hour. Join us again later at 2 p.m. as we continue to monitor the day's biggest stories. You can also catch One News on Signal